Carol. Is there anything we could do to cheer you up?
Can I ask a question?
Certainly. What would you like to know?
How do I reverse all this?
What is up, everybody? Jeremy Eisenfire here, and welcome to the channel. The hit Apple Plus TV series Pluribus is only a few episodes in, yet the theory wheel is already beginning to turn. And while the show does have some sci-fi elements and is shrouded in mystery, at its core it really is an interesting look into the basic human condition, balancing one's right to individualism and one's need to be part of a shared collective. In this case, a collective formed in the wake of a virus breaking out across humanity, one that strips away all negative emotion, leaving nothing but happiness and leaving people in a state of bliss. And stuck right in the middle, we have Carol Sturka, the main protagonist of the series and one of the few humans that was immune to the virus, and just so happens to be the most miserable person on Earth. And while there's still much that we don't know about the virus, we do know that it functions very similar to other viruses, in the sense where its sole purpose is to spread itself to as many hosts as humanly possible, which is something we hear Zosia state in episode 3, how they have a biological imperative to spread this virus to everyone alive.
Sorry, Carol. We have a biological imperative.
And while part of Carol's storyline is going to be her journey of self-discovery and what it truly means to be human, she also has a doomsday clock of sorts hanging over her head, as she is well aware that the hive mind is working around the clock to try and find a way to infect the few immune survivors, meaning at some point, Carol is going to have to find a way to fight back, or risk becoming a mindless drone like all the rest. And based on what we've seen from some of the other Pluribus trailers, we do know that at some point Carol is going to start wondering how she can fix all this. Which begs the question, is there a cure to the Pluribus virus? Or is saving humanity an unobtainable task? Very recently, Apple Plus put out an excerpt from one of Carol Sturker's novels, one that is free for everyone to read. And one of the things that stood out to me when reading it was a unique reference to Sisyphus, the figure from Greek mythology. Once a king, Sisyphus was condemned to eternal punishment, destined to forever push a boulder up a hill, only to see it roll back down to the bottom every time he nears the top, meant to symbolize the futility of having an unobtainable task and the basic human struggle. Could Carol be a representation of Sisyphus in this case, destined to fail at obtaining the unobtainable? Is Carol's search for a cure the ultimate exercise in futility? Or does she potentially have a chance at actually fixing this? One thing we have learned so far is that Carol isn't completely defenseless against the hive mind. Quite the opposite, in fact. As we've seen in previous episodes, when Carol directs her negative emotions towards the hive mind, it has a profound effect on them, causing a sort of glitch, for lack of a better term, where every single one of the hive mind is affected, begging the question as to just what else is Carol capable of, and could her and the other immune characters actually be the cure? After all, when looking at the official synopsis for the show, it states the most miserable person on Earth has to save the world from happiness. Could this potentially mean that the cure to the virus isn't exactly a biological one, but rather an emotional one? Could Carol projecting the right kind of emotions at the hive mind over an extended period of time begin to have some kind of effect on them, making them feel something other than happiness again? Just as the hive mind is looking for a way to infect Carol and the other immune survivors, should Carol also be looking for a way to infect them with her negative emotions as well? After all, the show has firmly established that Carol's emotions has a direct effect on the hive mind.
You fucking freak!
And could Carol also discover that it's not just her negative emotions that affect them as well, and that she has more power over them than she initially realized, something she could potentially discover by spending more time with Zosia? Could we start to see that the more time Zosia spends around Carol's varied emotions, the more we'll see them begin to seep into her too? And if so, could this potentially explain the hive mind's treatment of the immune survivors, and why they're attempting to keep them so happy? Could everything from the gifts, the smiles, and the friendly behavior simply be a way for them to placate Carol and the others, to keep them happy and docile so they don't discover the true power they have within them? On the show, when Carol realizes the kind of effect her negative emotions has on the hive mind, she quickly begins to feel remorseful, as according to them, every time one of these glitches is caused by Carol's negative emotions, it leads to many people perishing.
So, how many people did I hurt just now? Hundreds?
Which, if nothing else, is very convenient for the hive mind's attempt to keep Carol from being negative. By guilt-tripping her into believing her negative emotions can cause the deaths of thousands of lives, they ensure that Carol won't explore what other effects her other emotions might have on them as well. A clever defense mechanism that relies on emotional manipulation. A tactic we've seen the hive mind employ once before as well. One thing that we have seen is that the hive mind appears to be giving Carol anything she asks for, or just about. Yet when Carol asks them not to mention Helen or any of her memories, they continue to not listen, as Zosia continuously brings up Helen to Carol, promising her that she too can know all of Helen's memories if she also joins the collective. Yet another form of emotional manipulation to try and get Carol to capitulate, which, if nothing else, shows the hive mind's capability to strategize, and willingness to deploy multiple different tactics in order to get their desired result, with the ultimate goal being to spread the virus to every corner of the planet, and also become as efficient as humanly possible. Yet we have seen at times that their efficiency directive can become overridden, in favor of keeping Carol happy. For example, we see in episode 3 that the hive mind is beginning to turn off power to different parts of the globe that are no longer in use, with them turning the power off on Carol's street as well, something that they were instantly ready to reverse if it meant keeping Carol happy, showing a willingness to override their efficiency directive, showcasing that apart from them spreading the virus to every human on the globe, their second highest priority is to keep the immune survivors happy, as they appear to prioritize that even over their own efficiency. But when all is said and done, for all of the differences between Carol and the hive mind, they do potentially have one profound parallel in common, that being how they both have a ticking time clock hanging over their heads. As we've discussed earlier, not only does Carol have a doomsday clock of sorts hanging over her, as she knows she only has a limited amount of time before they end up converting her to the rest of the hive mind, but the hive mind itself also could potentially have a ticking clock hanging over them as well, in terms of how long it's going to take Carol to realize the true extent of the power that she wields over them, and just how deeply her very different human emotions can affect them, potentially making this a race against the clock to see who gets to their desired goal first. Will Carol discover other ways in which her emotions can affect them physically? Will she be able to get through to any of them and remind them what they have truly lost by giving up their emotions? And along the way, will Carol herself also discover what it truly means to be human, and how having access to a wide range of emotions is conducive to the human experience, and in turn, even show the hive mind what true happiness is? After all, how can one feel true happiness unless they've also felt sadness? How can one appreciate love if they haven't experienced grief? And how can we appreciate the light if we haven't seen the darkness? Struggle itself is nature's way of strengthening us, begging the question that without a full range of human emotions, both good and bad, can one truly ever experience the human condition? Or is the hive mind destined to become echoes of what humanity once was? Whatever happens to be the case, I'm very much looking forward to the human elements of the story, and Carol going on her own journey to discover exactly what humanity means. And on that path of self-discovery, will the most miserable person on Earth realize that they've had the cure within them the entire time? But that is going to do it today on our latest Pluribus theory of Is Carol the Cure? And definitely leave your thoughts and comments down below. Where do you think the story is going to go from here, and will Carol ever actually find a cure? Or is she destined to become the Sisyphus of Pluribus? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like and hype button, and be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of our Pluribus content. And as always, I want to give a big thank you to everybody out there for watching, and a huge thank you to all the channel members. Keep those tinfoil hats on, folks, and I will see you on the next one.
Be careful with that.
Right, like you would give me a real hand grenade.